Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to this episode in which I promised you to show you how good of a pilot is the panda bear right here. In other words, what we are doing in this episode, we're gonna compare him versus Mr. Brady. So first, of course, I have to give a massive shout out to Mr. Colossus from server 2216. Buddy, thank you very much. This is an absolutely great help what you are providing in order for me to test this, because I consider these battery reports to be very valuable, and I think the help towards the community is actually even bigger. So thank you very much for that. Okay, before we start actually to have a look at the comparison right here, just like we done it yesterday in an episode Paul versus Stromoy, let's have a quick recapitulation on Mr. Brady, because this is gonna play a certain role when I'm explaining you the battle reports and why that exactly happened. So this is also an offense buffing hero. He is 7 months old by now. It's only gonna work for planes. And here you see the first two roles get an offense enhancement of 131.3%, absolutely high. And of course you see slots 7, 8, and 9 get 115.9. But this hero has far more tricks up his sleeve. And yes, we have to mention here this decoy, which will increase his damage even higher, and he can go up to 200%, which is crazy and far higher than the bear can actually provide us. And not just that, also these decoys will gonna give you a damage reduction. Having the level 5 of Mr. Brady is gonna give you 2 decoys for slots 1 till slots number 6, and every time you get hit, the decoy is gonna be consumed, but for that hit you have a 50% damage reduction, and this will gonna play a big role in the battle versus the panda bear. So good, let's go into the battle reports right here, and of course we start just like yesterday with mirror matches in order to have battle reports which we can compare to. Of course, let's have a look here. First of all, we haven't used the heavy trooper, we used normal units, we haven't used the encirclement, and we also have not used formation. Good, so let's have a look at Mr. Colossus setup. It's a Brady level 5, just like mine. It's a Shinji level 7, just like mine. And of course, we have Asuka with a level 5 versus my Asuka level 5. Good, let's have a look at the gear right here. He has a 10% damage increase right there. What I have to mention here on my side, I have actually this rune on Asuka, and that's gonna work. And what I also have is this on Mr. Shinji, which definitely will not work. Here is briefly the comparison right here, but you're gonna see that far better once we have a look at the stats. So let's do exactly that and scroll all the way down to the Air Force. And here we go. He is slightly higher than me when it comes down to Air Force HP. I'm slightly higher than him when it comes down to the Air Force attack. Here we see a 61% higher damage increase on his side, and also an 18% higher damage decrease also for Mr. Colossus. And of course, let's have a look at the DEF. So we see the DEF of the Air Force being pretty much balanced. And of course, the DEF of all units, it's literally the same. Good, so here is one battle report right here. Let's go to the next one. Don't panic. All of these battle reports, there's going to be 4 of them in total. I'm going to put on the screen. Here is the second battle report in this mirror match right here. Let's go to the third battle report and see how that looks like. Here we go. So I actually planned only 3 battle reports in order to have one more with Mr. Paul, but an accident had happened, and I would also like to use that battle report on the screen. And this right here is the battle report which I'm speaking about. Now you see this being a very tight race, but what exactly happened here? First of all, I had this mirror match set up with Brady, Shinji, and Asuka. I've done the first 3 hits. After that, I moved everything on board the panda bear, the gear, the perks, and the skills. And here at this point, I simply misclicked and sent my normal match. Therefore, you see here, Brady doesn't have any skills on, it doesn't have any gear on, and also on top, you see that I have traded with Paul the panda bear, and that's why I'm having here the tank perks. Good, so this is the result right here. And let's put them all 4 on the screen because now we start to have a look at the battle reports, Paul versus Mr. Brady. So here is the first battle report right here. And yeah, what happens here? It's exactly the reason why I wanted to show you first Mr. Brady, because for a lot of you guys out there, this may be a little bit confusing because he has an offense buffing capability which goes kind of all the way up to 200. Also those decoys, he doesn't have literally kind of damage. He has, of course, this ignition, and that kind of works pretty awesome with Asuka. So not just the procs, and when my hero will gonna play a role, also Mr. Brady will gonna help him a lot with that 50% damage reduction on the slots 1, 2, slots 6 for those 2 decoys. So this is the result right here. Yeah, of course, you see, for example, my Asuka only with 4 procs, probably super late. You see 35.2 T damage is absolutely low. You see the performance on Asuka on the other side. And of course, yeah, have a look at the performance of Mr. Shinji. But we have a battle report which is gonna look even more devastating, and it's exactly this one right here. So I won't start the battle animation because I already have studied this to understand exactly what happened, and it was literally bad luck on my side. In other words, when my Shinji and when my Asuka actually procced. In other words, in the first round, my Shinji didn't even proc 1 time. His Shinji started to proc up slot number 3 first time, and then another 1 or 2 times in the first round, and his Asuka procced right from the beginning from slot 1, 2, 3, while my Asuka started kind of later on. And this is pretty much what explains this battle result right here. So let's carry on to the next battle report, which is this one right here. So let's have a look what happened here. Again, yeah, just only 3 procs from my side, granted only from 17 total attacks, but you can see the difference already between the performance of my Shinji and, of course, not to mention again the performance of my Asuka versus his Asuka. It's almost 3 times bigger. Good, let's have a look at the next battle report, and let's scroll a little bit up. Here is this battle report right here, which kind of looks more stable from the proc perspective, because you see my Shinji had actually 9 procs, his Shinji had 7 procs, and of course we see my Asuka with 12 procs, which is almost as much as his Asuka, but the damage difference between them is absolutely super high. Good, let's carry on into the next battle report, and don't worry about it, we're gonna conclude on Brady versus Paul the Panda Bear, and we have 2 more battle reports to go through. So here is this one right here. Again, we see that the procs are kind of equal. Good, more or less when that proc happened, that's for sure. And you see a massive damage output difference between my Shinji and his Shinji, and of course between my Asuka and his Asuka, which is round about 3 times higher. Good, let's have a look now at the last battle report. Then we're gonna start the battle animation, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about Mr. Brady versus Paul. Here again, you see the same thing. From the procs perspective, only 17 attacks in total. I got 10 procs on Shinji, which is absolutely super solid versus his 8 procs right there. But the damage output is literally double. And of course, when we have a look at my Asuka versus his Asuka, the damage output is almost 4 times lower than the performance of his Asuka. So anyways, beautiful people, let's pick one of these battle reports right here in which I had performed best, and let that battle animation run in order to talk about Brady versus Paul and how should you approach this. So yes, beautiful people, this is exactly this battle report right here, which I would like to start, and let's have a look at the battle animation while I'm explaining the difference between Paul and Mr. Brady. So first of all, yes, Mr. Brady, it's a hero which is literally 7 months old right now. He is a hero exclusively only for the planes, but you see, he is indeed stronger than Paul, even though Paul is an universal offense buffing hero, which gives him in general a higher value for your account, but it still doesn't change the fact that we definitely see a difference in performance. So what does this exactly mean? Even though Mr. Brady is a 7-month-old hero, I don't see the necessity, if you have him, to change him with Paul right here. It makes no sense. When it comes down from the level 7 perspective of Mr. Brady, that's absolutely super crazy, just exactly like you saw yesterday, the difference between Stromoy and Poe, which, judging by the DMs I have received since yesterday, did indeed surprise a lot of players, because again, also Stromoy is an older hero. So I won't change my recommendation when it comes down to Mr. Poe. It's an absolutely very valuable hero. There's no question about it, especially for the new players, which are starting to build a march right now. It's definitely absolutely good. But we slowly gonna have to approach this question. If I have Gypsy, if I have Brady, if I have Stromoy, where exactly should I use Poe? On which march and under which configuration? For that, we're gonna have to do some more tests. I would like to see the performance of Poe versus Mr. Snake Eyes, so we're gonna do definitely a video about that. I would like to make a video Mr. Poe versus Asuka, because theoretically speaking, both are offense buffing heroes with a hit, and theoretically speaking, we can do some battle reports Asuka solo versus Poe solo in order to highlight even better or even easier where is exactly the difference between these two heroes, because of course, again, both are very valuable heroes for your account due to the fact that they are offense buffing hero. Anyways, beautiful people, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment. What do you think about these battle reports? What do you think about Brady versus Mr. Poe? And that's exactly the goal of this channel, to do these battle reports as soon as possible, because of course this event is in total 3 weeks long, and it's super important actually to see this new hero from a lot of perspectives before you decide, should I buy this hero? Should I move very fast towards his level 5 exclusive skill? And I hope a lot of you guys out there also appreciate these efforts and indeed find a value in this type of content. So beautiful people, as always, do not forget to subscribe to this channel. This is super important for me, and it's also super important for you. And of course, thank you for watching, and don't forget to see me in the next episode. Ciao!